in more states are larger than ever.
We're spending $150 billion a year treating obesity.
Experts say this is an alarming trend. Obesity rates are up again.
Why more Americans than ever need to take their health seriously.
Back with a single patty and no middle bun.
America has been one of the most unhealthy, overweight, and overmedicated countries in the world for a while now. With no signs of change, obesity rates continue to climb year after year. As of a 2023 report, obesity affects 1 in 3 adults and 1 in 6 children in America. The estimated medical cost for obesity in the US is nearly $177 billion annually. A 2023 report from the World Obesity Atlas predicts that more than half of the global population will have obesity by 2035, and the US ranks near the top of the highest prevalence. Experiencing obesity in childhood can make it hard to overcome it later in life. Unfortunately, children are not immune to the trend of rising obesity rates in America. Here are some examples of foods being served to school children in other parts of the world. Now here's a pretty standard school meal in the United States. Notice the difference? Why is America severely lagging behind when it comes to what is being fed at school? This means that more than 14 million US children are living with obesity. They may also experience related conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, asthma, and joint problems. So, to the question why America is lagging behind when it comes to what is being fed at school, well, it can pretty much be boiled down to money, specifically when the government allowed corporations to begin feeding its children. In 1970s, schools began struggling to continue providing meals with the current system that was in place. Big food companies, seeing a window of opportunity, jumped in and lobbied all schools to serve the food they had since it was already prepackaged, convenient, and required minimal prep work. The system that was established looked something like this. Food and beverage companies contribute money for political campaigns, which then gives them the power to influence food policy and what gets published in the dietary guidelines by the USDA. Basically, the organization that sets the national standard and comes up with the lunches is also funded by countries that are trying to profit, causing a clear potential for bias and conflict of interest. By 1979, nutrition standards for school lunch items were loosened to the point where the USDA official was quoted, "If a candy bar has a minimum 1 nut in it, you will feel it's above our minimum nutrient standards." With child obesity having tripled since the 1970s, in 2010, Michelle Obama led the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act, which sought changes such as including more whole wheat, more vitamin-fortified food, and so on. A term coined scientific nutrition came into play, where companies would make slightly altered versions of their product to fall into the line with the new guidelines, such as adding more vitamin C to their fruit-flavored candy, which often counted as a fruit, and even pushed to make ketchup and the sauce found in Domino's separate pizza count as a child serving of vegetables. In short, companies quickly mastered the art of checking the boxes on certain nutrients to continue getting their products to school cafeterias in the mouths of children. Speaking of Domino's, there's a popular program where the more pizza gets bought by school, the more reward points the school can get, which can then be traded in for new kitchen equipment and even merchandise. In Japan, children have an active role in every stage of a school meal. The philosophy of what makes up a healthy meal is also different from the United States.
学校給食の中の給食の役割、目的についてですが、まず健康な体づくりのために食が大事であるということを子どもたちが学ぶ大切な場であると思っています。
Students are ingrained with the respect for where the food comes.
農業のうちの農園に職場体験で今日来てます。で、明日給食で枝豆ご飯を食べるので、そのための今準備をやってます。
Each child also gets a menu of what they will be eating for the month, each meal requiring a healthy range of calories and protein, fat, and carbohydrate ratios. By implementing a similar system, Americans from a young age will not only know what constitutes a healthy meal, but how to make those meals themselves. Americans tend to like things fast, simple, cheap, and most of all convenient. These conveniences make life easier and objectively better in many ways than the past. But are these conveniences holding a dark secret? One that is costing the health of Americans? For the first time in the history of the USA and other developed countries have seen a major shift. Lower income households are now on the average more overweight than the higher income households, and the gap is widening. According to CDC reports, one factor leading to the rise of obesity rates is socioeconomic status, which considers education and household incomes. Adults with college degrees had a lower obesity prevalence compared with those with less education. To understand why, let's look at a life through the eyes of an early 20th century farming family, which made up of over 30% of the US population. Almost all your family's needs were met on the farm. From a system used to collect rainwater for drinking and baths for fruits, vegetables, and meat, you worked all day to maintain. This mandatory daily task of upkeep kept you moving throughout the day. Even things such as running water was no small feat. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner came directly from the farm with minimal processing. Every ingredient was only a few steps away from your plate. Fortunately, advances in technology means that today convenience is literally at your fingertips and a shower is only a twist of the wrist. However, this convenience can come at a cost. A 20th century farmer would be amazed at what can be bought in one place: potatoes, carrots, chicken, Doritos, fruity pebbles. He would think to himself, not having any idea what these foods were. He picks up a bag of Doritos and tries to find some clues. There are only a few ingredients he understands, much less pronounce. Bewildered, he has no idea what the steps were to make this product. Processing foods was simple in the farmer's days. Cooking, grading, and canning to preserve was pretty much all that was available then. Today, 73% of the US food supply is classified as ultra-processed, which is simply making cheap food as tasty as possible with added chemicals to turn a profit. The entire laboratories are hard at work to ensure every bite of your bag of fried corns mashed with 20 added chemicals is as pleasing as possible to your palate, with a goal of creating a future customer. These high-calorie, low-nutrients addicting foods are increasingly available and convenient, from common shopping to the growing reliance on fast foods. Ultra-processed and fast foods have many studies finding links on not just increasing the number of the scale, but everything from cognitive decline, depression, stress, and feelings of hopelessness and despair, making it even harder to break the destructive cycle. What fast food and ultra-processed foods contain is fat, sodium, and sugar, which are an excellent at releasing dopamine in our brains, which make us feel very happy. Should also say that a lot of drug addicts seek out dopamine in the drugs that they consume. You're starting to see where this is very problematic now. We feel hungry and we remember how good fast food made us feel. So what do? You seek out fast food again. Now, this isn't an accident. This is a scientific calculation that fast food companies put together to keep you hooked. Fast food companies spend a ton of money every year on research and development to make the customer experience as smooth as possible. Their goal with this research is to find pain points in their process which cause customers to consider their decisions. The other side of that is a deeply American trait to want to have a freedom to pick whatever you want. Now, people are hooked on fast food and health problems are starting to rise. Where do you go from here? Well, every single year, half of the US sets a New Year's resolutions based on fitness and weight loss, and 45 million people every year decide to take action with their dieting program. Companies such as Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig were born out of the growing obesity crisis, but the goal behind these programs is often dangerous and real ones. According to this article by Matt Stanford, a study conducted by a team of researchers at the Stanford University School of Medicine using national health surveys, results that found the Americans have been exercising less, which has caused further rising rates in America. Combined with other lifestyle factors such as long work hours, sitting down in the cubicle desk, video games, Netflix, and other conveniences such as food delivery apps, technology escalators and elevators has caused Americans to have even less reason to exercise. Hopefully, I have given useful insights on why America has an ongoing crisis with obesity and exposed the things you might not have known. Share this video with others that might find value in this information. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified when I drop a video like this. See you on my next video.